and welcome to New Wave Global. This is episode 110 with Professor Harun Rashid of Bangladesh, who is a PhD scholar with Kent State University. And he has been with us, and we have been discussing the Bangladesh situation. And in the last episode, Professor Harun was kind enough to explain to us a lot of the historical and political context of the recent events that we have seen happening in Bangladesh. And now we are moving on to the next and the final part of our discussion, of which the first section will be, I would like to talk about Begum Khaleda Zia's legacy, because Begum Khaleda Zia was first female, first woman prime minister of Bangladesh, and probably the second woman prime minister of the Muslim world, only after Pakistan's Benazir Bhutto, who became the prime minister of Pakistan shortly before Begum Khaleda Zia came to power. And Begum Khaleda Zia had lasting imprint on Bangladesh's history, Bangladesh's political history. In fact, two women in Bangladesh have shaped what Bangladesh is now, right now in front of our eyes. And these two women were Begum Hasina Wajid and Begum Khaleda Zia. My friend, in one of the earlier episodes, I cited my friend and colleague from India, Suhasini Heather, who called it Battle of the Begums in her recent article after Begum Khaleda Zia's passing away. So we have seen this battle of the Begums, in which Begum Hasina Wajid stands up as symbolizes as a secularist, progressive, democratic force in Bangladesh, while Begum Khaleda Zia, as Professor Harun Rashid also explained in our previous episode, we see Begum Khaleda Zia as a Bangladeshi nationalist prime minister or politician who embodied the Muslim nationalism as well as Bangladeshi nationalism, who did not divorce religion but was as democratic as Begum Hasina Wajid was. This sounds like a complex legacy, and we will hear this from Professor Harun Rashid. How does he see this legacy and how it would be taken forward? Who will take it forward? Harun Rashid sir.
Great. Thank you again for the very wonderful question. Um, I would start from the point that I mentioned in my last episode, that the idea of Bangladeshi nationalism, right? So President Ziaur Rahman, the husband of Begum Khaleda Zia, so he introduced Bangladeshi nationalism. And as I said, that the Bangladeshi nationalism is something that was introduced to address search for an identity for Bangladeshi Bengali speaking Muslims who are searching an identity for a long time against Bengali nationalism, which is dominated by Hindu majoritarian and infused with like Hindu religion, right? So when Ziaur Rahman he introduced Bangladeshi nationalism after the assassination of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in 1975. He also established Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP. And Bangladesh Nationalist Party is obviously the main idea from this Bangladeshi nationalism that he just introduced in constitution, right? So this is how the political party was created by Ziaur Rahman. And within a very short time, Ziaur Rahman was assassinated.
Yeah, unfortunately, in front of, I think when Begum Khaleda Zia was home,
Yeah,
She was present when he was assassinated.
Yes, Khaleda Zia, Begum Khaleda Zia was like a general Bangladeshi mothers who live in
Mm,
home and doesn't have anything. Although she visited, I mean, with Zia Rahman, I mean,
mm,
creates a lot of events, a lot of
mm,
political events, but not necessarily she was actively involved with Bangladesh's politics.
mm,
After the assassination of Zia Rahman, there was a vacuum in the politics in BNP. And of course, like understand the emotion of the South Asian people, like they are for some reason love to see um, the family members in power.
mm,
This is how it also gives the party to well manage and control the political party. So this the same thing happened for Bangladesh Nationalist Party. The Khaleda Zia came to the the mainstream politics in
mm,
Bangladesh after
mm,
the nation of Zia Rahman.
mm,
So on the other hand, um, Sheikh Hasina, who was brought back by Zia Rahman,
mm,
uh, because like when Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was assassinated with all his family members except like Sheikh Hasina and Sheikh Rehana in
mm.
1995, it was a brutal murder and another tragic
Yeah.
power of Bangladesh. Which is uh, like almost like everyone hate this kind of event,
Mm,
right? Uh, So Sheikh Hasina, when she came to power, when she came to when it came to Bangladesh after by Zia Rahman, at that
mm,
um, Awami League was actually not that functioning because Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, before his assassination, he actually established an autocratic kind of a system named Bakshal, and he banned all the political parties, including Awami League, his own political, like dysfunctioned.
mm.
So
In that happened in 78.
in 75, right
70,
after he was
right.
assassinated,
Mm,
yes, by a group of um, army
mm,
officials.
mm,
So Sheikh Hasina, as I mentioned in my last episode, that it was under Sheikh Hasina's Awami League was always maintaining a strong relations because Sheikh Hasina was also in India. Maybe that's the reason. But
mm,
again, later, a strong tie with West Bengal for
mm,
that Bengali nationalism, or who demand themselves as a kind of a protector of Bengali nationalism. So
yeah.
this perspective was going on, right? And at
Mm,
the other hand, for Khaleda Zia, it was a little different, but again, is not necessarily endemic to India. It's
mm,
like, as usual, a democratic system or any
mm,
democratic activities
mm,
that the political party was trying to organize its own activities. But after the Zia's the main point that I wanted to mention is like after Zia's assassination and
mm,
when Ershad came to power, General
mm.
Ershad, right?
Yeah.
The entire Ershad regime was um, challenged by two political party, Awami League and BNP.
Mm,
And at that time, both Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia, they worked together.
mm,
That time, I mean, Indianism or anti-Indianism, this cultural wing, everything was a little obsolete. Like all the forces, even
mm,
including Jamaat,
mm,
they worked together just to return to the parliamentary democracy and democratic system and over
mm,
the uh, the Ershad autocratic regime,
Mm.
military regime.
Yeah.
And during this movement, our entire Ershad movement,
Mm.
Khaleda proved a
Mm.
lot, I mean, as a political leader. This is how Khaleda Zia came to the mainstream politics in Bangladesh, and also Sheikh Hasina came
Mm.
in politics in Bangladesh. So
Mm.
both. So this is how, I mean, this anti-Ershadism
Mm.
created, I would say, both Khaleda Zia and Sheikh Hasina,
Take a scene. Mm.
I guess, in Bangladesh. But later, after 90, I mean, after 1990s, when Ershad is gone,
Mm.
parliamentary democracy was introduced in Bangladesh,
Mm.
and Khaleda Zia became the first prime minister in the country through free
91.
election, yes, in 1991.
Yeah.
It was a very free and fair election, and which is, I mean, without any question.
Mm.
From 91 to 96, Khaleda Zia's regime was, I mean, almost unquestionable. There was no problem
Yeah.
at
But
all.
I wonder what happened in 1996 elections. Why did Khaleda Zia do that kind of I mean, it was considered, a very, very unfair and rigged elections. And Khaleda Zia, I think she remained in power for a couple of weeks or few weeks. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So in 1996, Khaleda Zia was it was a rigged election. It was, I mean, uh, in any definition, it was not an election at all. It was an
Yeah.
election like the Hasina organized for
Yeah.
last
But I
the same.
wonder why did Khalida do that? Because she was so successful.
Yeah,
She wasn't challenged by anyone. Why did she feel the need to do it?
I mean, there is not a lot of question, not a lot of research on there. Like, I mean, it
Mm,
was, I mean, why did Khaleda Zia? I mean, of course, like it was covered by the regime that to save the constitutional mandate, so
mm,
they had to organize this election.
mm,
But other political parties was demanding that no, election cannot happen under the ruling political party. It should be organized under
yeah.
a caretaker
Caretaker,
election,
like a
a caretaker
Pakistan model.
government,
Yeah.
a non-party caretaker government.
Mm,
Are you there? Yeah. So, but later, I mean, she realized uh, within a very short time. There's
mm,
the side of Khaleda Zia that she realized when she realized that I mean the people ultimately people of the country will be suffered. Then she decided to kind of address the demand of the opposition political parties, and the caretaker government came in. Uh,
mm,
so as I say, the Bangladeshi people are democracy lovers.
mm.
Not necessarily it is like anti-India, not necessarily it's like
Yeah.
Islamic radicals or whatever. Bangladeshi majority is Bangladeshi Muslim, but they love democracy. So the
Mm,
same region, because PNP and Khaleda Zia did this thing in 1996, people did not vote them.
mm,
The vote, I mean, in 1996, Awami League came to power through a free, fair election. It was
mm.
incumbency. At the same time, it was against BNP's
Yeah.
actions they did in 1996,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So, but when after 1996, in 2000 and 2001, right? The
mm,
election when Khaleda Zia came back to the power.
mm,
So it was the beginning of, I would say, Sheikh Hasina's uses of that cultural network a lot.
mm,
When we saw a lot of um, Hindu minority was um, tortured, and their uh, houses are vandalized, and many of them were, many of them were targeted.
Hmm.
So there is still not a lot of research on that, but there are two kind of a story behind that. One is Awami League started to establish an anti-Indianism narrative in Bangladesh, and
Hmm.
very easily can be done by torturing Hindus. And if you, because if you torture Hindu
Hmm.
minority and give a name to the BNP Jamaat, because BNP and Jamaat was alliance in 2001 election.
Hmm.
So the narrative was like it would be easier for them to establish a narrative like that, that BNP and Jamaat is torturing the minorities in Bangladesh. But
But do
this,
you think that happened?
I'm sorry,
Do you think that was actually what happened?
that was part of this whole story, but it's not
Okay.
a complete story. I mean,
Hmm.
there are also um, uh, some incidents which was about like the property related, not necessarily
Hmm.
because as I said, religion is Hindu Muslimism is not part of electoral agenda in Bangladesh. It doesn't
Hmm.
kind of difference.
But you
So
see a lot of targeting against Hindus even now, after the revolution, during the revolution as well.
yeah,
So it's somehow it coincides with BNP plus Jamaat-e-Islami kind of coalition or alliance lose or cooperation or agreement or whatever. So this duo, whenever they're together or they have a say, these things happen against Hindus. And the Awami League was not in a position to torch the houses of Hindus or torch the mandirs, or it was definitely because whenever the religious forces come to power or dominate the narrative, they actually trigger these kind of sentiments. So it's very much possible that it was because of the narrative building, the religious narrative building of which BNP and Jamaat Islami have been a part since many decades now. It is because of that that these anti-minority sentiments are flourished among the people in the society. Awami League didn't do that. What makes you say that? It's understandable, it can be a strategy, and it's logical that Awami League would use this, but nothing has ever come to the surface that could point Awami League towards Awami League as the perpetrator of those violent acts against Hindus.
after this revolution, you say?
After this revolution and earlier in the 90s as well, no?
Yeah, so in the 90s there were a lot of but the issue is in Bangladesh. I mean, we discussed in the last episode that
Mhm.
uh, Hindus, I mean, most of the Hindu families, they have either Awami League activists or supporters or leaders. I mean, in many of the Hindu families.
Hmm.
So when this kind of things happens, it's not necessarily against Hindu as a religion,
Mhm.
against Awami League supporter. It happens against any Awami League supporter, including those who are Hindus.
Okay. And
But
mostly Hindus are Awami League supporters now. That's
yes,
also a
yes,
fact.
yes.
Yeah.
So the
I don't
main,
see any Hindus at all who are supporter of Jamaat Islami. And there might be very few for BNP, but mostly my
yeah,
Hindu friends in Bangladesh have a soft corner for Awami League. No one
yes,
has soft corner
absolutely.
for BNP or Jamaat.
Absolutely, yes, you are right. And the reason I already mentioned that is Bengali nationalism,
Hmm.
how the Bengali, the protection of Bengali
Hmm.
nationalism, how the
Hmm.
Bengali nationalism is tied to Hindu religion, and how
Hmm.
it happened. So
Hmm.
it's another story, right?
Hmm.
And of course, like BNP could not prove anything uh, that or provided any actionable kind of activities to
Hmm.
for to Hindus that Hindus will support them. Not
Hmm.
necessarily they tortured against, but also not necessarily they also make any policies for pro-Hindu policies like that.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there is nothing. If Awami League is using a lot,
Hmm.
so BNP should do something to um, offer something, at least like some policies that
Hmm.
protect those or anything like that. So
Hmm.
it was not really seen from BNP, I would say. But maybe in the future they will realize that.
Hmm.
But again, it's like BNP. So they are an Islamic political party. Although, I mean, they claim that they want Hindus in their political party, but it's naturally not possible because they're Jamaat Islami, right? A
Hmm.
Hindu, why should a Hindu come and join? But still, in the next election, there are some they nominated some Hindu candidate, very,
Hmm.
and they're trying to include Hindus.
Yeah.
Very
I
interesting.
hope that, yeah,
Yeah.
because and the new political party. Okay, we will come to the current
Yeah.
situation. First, you complete your point. Then.
So in that case, when Hindus are tortured,
Hmm.
not necessarily as a Hindu as a religious
Hmm.
perspective, but as a Awami League supporter, because Awami League supporters are targeted now because they did a lot of things during the last 16 years against BNP and other political parties. And because there is a vacuum in law enforcement agencies at this moment, So BNP, although BNP as a political party, they are trying to address these issues, but still it is happening. It's happening against Awami League. It's happening against other kind of those who believe that they created narratives. It's happening against Hindus, not necessarily again as a Hindu, but as a Awami League supporter. So
But I would just interrupt you here for a moment. Sorry, I'm interrupting a lot. But before you complete your next your this point, I just want to remind you that during the revolution, uh, Hindu temples were actually attacked. Not so much Hindu individuals. Hindu individuals were also there were villages who were torched. So I can understand your point that because they were perceived as Awami League supporters, so they but temples act of arson in temples means religion. And
yeah,
also in the two weeks ago when a Hindu man was
that's
beaten to death, and it was on the pretext of blasphemy. There was no politics. As you know, I couldn't read about it. I
yeah.
would ask you what to read in Bangladeshi English language newspapers, because I don't read a Bangladeshi script, so I rely on English language, and Daily Star was my go-to. So you can tell me what is the good source of Bangladeshi news if not Daily Star, but that's besides the point. But about this, the Hindu temples were being arsoned, were being set on fire. And also there were this recent attack on Hindu, beaten to death on the pretext of blasphemy. And this happened during the revolution as well. Blasphemy was made the focus. So do you think blasphemy, again, like Pakistan, blasphemy is being used for political purposes, or was there a religious element as well as the political element in these violent events?
That's a very good point and very nice question. Thank you. And so yes, I mean, many Hindus were targeted. As I
Hmm.
said, it was not necessarily for religion, but they damaged their properties when they attacked, they
Hmm.
damaged temples. But I am not saying that some of the incidents were not against religion.
mm,
because there are elements in the country.
mm,
I mean, there are religious elements in the country who probably will, I mean, which is blasphemy. Yes.
mm,
And unfortunately, I mean, these elements also came on the street during this revolution.
mm,
And the hope is that this is not tied to politics.
mm,
So, as a result, because the law enforcement agencies at this moment is kind of demoralized because most of the police officials were
mm.
recruited by Awami League in 19 during the
Ah,
last 16 years.
okay. That's true.
Many of them are not functional. Many of their leaders, like the top officials, they fled to India or other
Mm.
countries.
Oh,
So the whole law enforcement agency is not functioning that
mm,
much. And of course, like these elements of this blasphemy, uh, so these elements is functional.
mhm,
As I said, the hope is that it is not political. It's not. They are not tied with any political party, and they're insignificant, but they are active,
mm,
right? And not BNP, not Jamaat, not any other political party is providing support to these people, but there are some um, Islamic scholars who claim them Islamic scholar instigate sometimes in their waj or mafil. And so a group of people, even
mhm,
sometimes not necessarily they're from madrasa student, they're, I mean, can be any uneducated, illiterate
mm,
religion who
mm,
practice probably 5 times a day and
mm,
believe that they are a true Muslim.
mm,
And then killing a Dipu Das is saving Islam like that. These elements exist in Bangladesh, like any other country in South Asia, right?
mm,
So these elements, the interim government failed to control these elements.
mm,
Um BNP is, I mean, is not in, I mean, is not in, I mean, there is no political party in power at this moment. So it is not easy for any political party
mm,
to take action, including Jamaat. So the responsibility is interim government.
mm,
But interim government has different agenda, like organizing election. They also was doing a lot of reforms. So they could not concentrate a lot on managing law enforcement. So they relied on army, but army is not actually the force that manage internal or local
mm,
issues. So this is why there is a vacuum in the country, and
mm,
this elements is active for the time being,
mm.
but it is not permanent in
Okay.
Bangladesh.
Okay.
It was not I mean permanent. It was never
Mm,
this much active. It will not when a political party will be in power in the
mm.
country.
Okay, so we are moving towards the end of our this episode as well. Um, but my question would be, how do you see the future of democracy? Because right now, as the situation is, on one hand, we see Tariq Rahman coming back to Bangladesh and drawing massive crowds who were there to greet him, to welcome him, and he is being seen as a potential, um, you know, leader of the future governance structure in Bangladesh, because he doesn't have any potential leading political figure to give him tough competition in terms of electoral performance. But let's wait and see. We don't know about this new political party that is coming into being. Mostly the students, the youth leaders of the revolution. So they also have a promise of electoral performance. We don't know, but we will see. But there's a lot of you know, what do you say? Uh, People are not sure if the election would happen at all. How do you see it?
I think election will happen because
Uh-huh.
it is important for the interim government. They
Hmm.
need a safe exit,
Hmm.
and uh, Dr. Yunus is determined,
Hmm.
and he also need to retire.
Hmm.
So for many reasons,
Hmm.
including his personal purpose.
Hmm.
So it looks like the election will happen unless any other big incident happens.
Hmm. Okay.
No one knows.
And when the
But
election happens, you are sure, I mean, how sure are you that the democratic dispensation would be meaningful? Because we see, I don't know, but it seems as if Bangladeshi young people who brought the revolution are now convinced that everything that would happen, it would happen through the street uprising. So a lot of street uprising would mean lack of stability. And lack of stability would also mean weaker democracy, weaker governance, weaker economy. That would reflect in everything that Bangladesh would experience. What do you say?
yeah, so that's the main challenge at this moment, especially if a free and fair election is
Mm,
organized, they can be organized. I believe that it will happen.
mm,
A free and fair election will be organized. And um, if Tariq Rahman comes to power,
mm.
we never know. I mean, Bangladesh is very complicated. So
Yes,
the new
very
political
unpredictable.
party,
Yeah.
right? Yes, very unpredictable. So the new political party, NCP and Jamaat, they have alliance now,
Mm,
and we never know because BNP's main political agenda
mm,
or BNP's main voters
mm,
are were always anti-Awami League,
mm,
who created those network of narratives with Bengali nationalism
mm.
and Hinduism,
Yeah.
I mean, or Indianism in Bangladesh.
Mm,
So they were the main voters. So that now these voters are divided
mm,
because Awami League is not there.
mm,
And there is another option, which is NCP,
mm.
right? So
And NCP is also, anti-Awami League, mostly.
yes, NCP is absolutely anti-Awami League.
Hmm. So the
It's like
anti-Awami League vote is divided, as
absolutely.
you're
The
saying, yeah.
India Awami League is right, absolutely. So it is divided. But still, just Khaleda Zia, so on the other hand, Khaleda Zia is considered as the symbol of unity in the country. She is like um, supported by, especially after the torture that Awami gave, Sheikh Hasina gave against, I mean, conducted against Khaleda Zia. And after this revolution, Khaleda Zia became the symbol of unity in the country.
Mm,
And then the most of the actions, opinions
mm,
of Tariq Rahman
mm,
is kind of, I mean, till now, his hope for peace. He was
mm,
addressing most of the issues very smartly, including like when he came back to Bangladesh, he visited Hadith graveyard, and so right. So Tariq Rahman, even his speech when he came back to Bangladesh, he gave a speech with his saying that I have a plan,
mm,
and speak of like anything. He didn't say anything about revenge, anything bad against Awami League, uh,
yeah.
or anti-Indian or nothing
Mm,
like that. He just
mm,
was hoping for a good, a democratic future. So this is something that gives a good vibe to Bangladeshi politics, even like in the for future politics,
mm,
future future of democracy in the country.
Mm,
And also, we do not know what plan he actually has. He said, like, I have a plan and I
mm,
want to participate in that plan or everyone's support for that plan. So we would like to see what that plan is. If he has some kind of plan for all the political parties
mm,
or with all the important actors in the country that can give a peaceful or solution and stability in the country, which is probably is waiting for us. But otherwise, if a free and fair election happens, there will be at least at this moment, if BNP comes to power, there will be a strong opposition alliance of
mm,
and Jamaat. If NCP Jamaat can win, um, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it will not happen.
mm.
Complicated. So BNP
Yeah.
was a strong opposition political party, and but again, the challenge is the administration, the bureaucracy,
Mm,
because this bureaucracy is still a bureaucracy that was created by Hasina for 16 years. Challenge is still the law enforcement agencies and how they see and how they provide support to the elected government. So everything is, I mean, this depends.
depends, yeah. And we'll closely see. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
The more, I mean, the newly elected government can address those issues
Mm,
and can reform based on the national consensus. Uh, there was a national consensus commission, so they have proposed something which is supported by NCP, BNP, and other political parties. So let's see how it happens. So the more the political party, elected political party, ruling political party, be able to manage those issues, the more stability.
yeah.
Otherwise, this will continue. We don't know for.
Yeah, but we hope that it, you know, it concludes on something which is good for Bangladesh and which is good for the future of the democracy in Bangladesh and for the young people who the Gen Z, so to speak, who brought this revolution with a lot of aspirations for better future. And I hope their dream is realized, and I hope the Bangladesh dream comes to good fruition. And we are temporarily ending this conversation here, but I think we'll keep covering Bangladesh story with you and with other Bangladeshi friends and colleagues. And there are so many questions that still remain. And we hope that you will take out your time and give us your time and in future as well. We would like to discuss what is the difference between Tariq Rahman and the new party, NCP. I mean, they are both against Bangladesh, against Awami League. They are both for Bangladeshi nationalism. They are both, so there are a lot of affinity. So why didn't they work together instead of making different platforms? What is the main difference? How they're so we will see a lot of it during the election campaigns. Both of these parties run. How Awami League figures in it in the election campaign, because I don't know, this party has been banned in Bangladesh now, so they would not be able to participate, but they still might have a vote bank in Bangladesh. So where would those voters go? How would the Hindu minority figure in this political participation? Because it's a very minuscule minority, but it's a significant minority in Bangladesh. It is very different from the Hindu minority in Pakistan, which is not politically that significant as the Hindu minority in Bangladesh is significant, how will Bangladesh balance its geopolitical, regional political position sandwiched between India and Pakistan? How will Pakistan's relation with Bangladesh go on? Because there's a lot of optimism in Pakistan after this revolution. People of Pakistan are very happy for Bangladesh. People of Pakistan want to. I mean, obviously, no one would forget what happened in 1971. There's a lot of painful memories in Bangladesh, and there are a lot of people in Pakistan who empathize with their Bangladeshi brothers and sisters. There's a lot of activism against those atrocities in Pakistan even now. So we have a lot of good feeling about it, but we have a lot to watch as well, and we will keep watching that for you, and we will be bringing different perspectives from Bangladesh for you. And before I end this episode and I finally thank Professor Harun Rashid, I would just make one correction that I made a mistake in the last episode, which was I said Swadeshi movement was started by Gandhi. No, I was saying Swadeshi movement, but I was thinking Satyagraha. So,
Uh-huh.
Satyagraha was started by Gandhiji.
Yeah.
Swadeshi movement, when it started, if I remember correctly, Gandhiji was still in South Africa. He was not even in India. He later, when he came back, he later joined it. But when it started in 1905 to 1910,
Mhm.
1911, it was Lala Lajpat Rai and other, leaders of India at that time were at the forefront of that movement, Swadeshi movement, and especially in Bengal, both Bengals, East and West. It was a very powerful movement, and it was the Bengali leaders who actually
Yeah.
put the meaning and spirit into this movement. But anyway, I just wanted to make that correction because just it just I just thought of it. Oh my God, I was saying Swadeshi and I was thinking Satyagraha. It
Satyagraha.
was so both movements. I just got confused. So I just wanted to apologize from the viewers who might get wrong idea from my mistake. So with this correction and with uh, heartful thanks to to Professor Harun Rashid. Thank you very much for being with us, for giving us so much of time, and we will keep bothering you again as well. So thank you very much, viewers, for tuning in. And if you really like this episode, please give us a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you very much. Have a great one. See you soon.